Hey folks, Babbage here, currently hanging out Coastal Highway. If we recall, last time we barely avoided running into the bear. A little too close for comfort. Okay, so we are somewhat burdened here. Do we need to help ourselves with? We are still carrying 28 coal. That's a lot of coal. I don't think we need to carry all this either. To get down to something manageable. Tempting to keep that. Alright, good to see you, Roller. Okay, I'll be honest, I like rarely use the We don't have a pot yet, do we? If we went to Mystery Lake, we would get a pond. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, how bad is it out here? Whoa! Thanks for the sub. Hey, thanks. Thanks, EG. It's good to see you back. We are doing Matchless. We're doing a run where we can't use matches, and we can only use flares, lit torches, mag lens, or mag lens or firestriker to start fires. Other than that, we are on our own. But hey, yeah, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Thank you for continuing to hang out in our madness here.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
So this is our third attempt to pull off this particular challenge. We lucked out this time. We started off in Desolation Point and were able to get the cache with the flares, and that made all the difference. And a few other flares in the area, opened up a few doors. It's cold. We do not want to spend too long here. We're trying to decide how long we can go without lighting anything at all. Yeah, here we go. Do a shout out for friend EG. Ooh, he's not playing anything. Okay. One day I'll do a shout out and you'll have actually streamed something. Or played something. So, I hopefully will be attentive for this stream. I took a nap before this stream because I was feeling pretty wiped out today. I spent the morning working and then had to go into campus for a meeting as well. And I'm recovering from, I pulled something on my lower back back on Saturday, so I've been slowly recovering from that. Actually, fairly quickly recovering, to be honest. First 2 days were pretty terrible. Today I am stiff, but not as much pain as before. And I'm doing a lot of movement, like small, gentle movement, walking, but not like speed walking. Like a bunch of things to
I've never felt so cold in my life.
keep the body working so that nothing gets too frozen up. If this was the 2, I'd see lots of videos. Oh, because you upload directly to YouTube. Got it. Yeah, I have mine set up so that these streams now get archived directly to YouTube afterwards, which is nice. I heard you. Question is, where are you? Oh, that's a free meal. Saw something interesting recently about how they supposedly improved the fire placement, but it's not true. Not here. Still too steep. Oh, so much for that. It was a nice thought. Yeah, I know. Got to be careful. We don't have many of these. But we knew we had to use it at some point today. We're not going to get through without using the flare. And we are still missing mittens somehow. We've just really been unfortunate. No sewing kit and no mittens. We did get the we did get the sleeping bag though. So we have the bedroll, and we have a hacksaw now. But no hammer, so we can't forge anything, and no sewing kit. It's a shame I couldn't harvest that deer. I would have liked to have grabbed at least a little bit, but I can't really afford to harvest in the cold. Okay, let's see if we get lucky up here at the trailer. Maybe we'll find something for our hands. Oh, there hasn't been. I saw. Maybe that's coming. I thought I saw something from Zach Nathan. Zach Nathan, however you pronounce his name, on YouTube. Oh, that's perfect. Apparently we are clumsy. But yeah, in one of the videos for, I thought it was for the update, but I guess we don't have the update yet. We can place fires on more of an incline, which I was like really excited about. It's the thing I hate most about hunting is when the deer drops and I can't harvest the deer without taking substantial damage. And I have to come up with silly ways to work around it. And sometimes it's just not possible. Like that one's like not possible. There's nowhere. I don't have enough tees to kind of make a bunch of tees and run back and forth. Yeah. Oh. So the real question is, are we going to Ravine or are we going to Pleasant Valley? You know, the advantage about going to Ravine is it takes us to Mystery Lake. Or at least we can get a pot, and maybe we can fire a firestriker or a mag lens. Pleasant Valley is also tempting. We get better clothes. Nothing. It was side trip to Upper Bleak. Interesting. I usually don't do that.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Really need mittens. We've already gotten frostbite once. We don't really want to do it again. Sewing kit or like a whole lot of nothing. Oh. Well, hello there. Nothing. A lot of nothing.
If I don't warm up soon.
See when we warm ourselves up here.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
We could boil some more water. Okay, let's make some more tea. More coffee. What do you think, ravine? Well, we're already up here. It is tempting. Our condition is terrible, though, isn't it? Do have a lot of... Oh, that's bad. Okay. So we did not find a mittens. That was pretty bad. If we go to the ravine... Well, I guess ravine's not bad. We go to Mystery Lake, we'll be in the dam. The dam would give us a pretty good chance at finding mittens. And a lot of indoor spaces, and some water near the entrance. It's not bad. And we don't have to worry about torches to keep animals away because there are no predators. So, yeah, it is tempting. Okay, we'll do a ravine. And then actually from ravine, we could go to Mystery Lake, and then if we wanted to, we could leave the dam and go to Winding River and go to Pleasant Valley that way. So... Well, there might be more flares. Maybe we'll get lucky with flares in the dam, too. Maybe. Okay. We'll try our luck. Oh, and we can get birch bark, too, in the ravine. It's just that sometimes I go to the ravine and then the weather turns absolutely miserable. Terrible. So how's everyone else's day? Been working on a data mining project for one group that I think I've told people before, and basically a Swiss Army knife that the university farms out to a bunch of different faculty researchers when they need like a programmer.
This much gear.
And so one project I'm working on involves a lot of data mining and writing scripts to pull together bits and pieces from a bunch of different data sets to, and then filtered them or isolate particular, um, these are all social media posts, but pull them, isolate the ones that are relevant to the parameters that they give me, and then so they can then build visualizations out of them. And so they end of last week they sent me a list of new things they wanted, and so I started working on that today. And then had a meeting with them to hear a little bit more about what they wanted. And get some clarification on what I should be doing. So, yeah. It's coming along. Then I had to travel into campus for a team meeting, which is really just an excuse to get together in person, since we had hired a couple people via Zoom and hadn't actually met them in person, so kind of fun. And then traveled all the way back and got my steps in. I've been trying to do better about walking more. So, like, I'm trying to follow with these walking goals every day. It's helping. But it definitely has been harder since I injured myself on Saturday. It's like, I can't speed walk. I have to move a little more slowly. But I guess it gets me more steps, so, oh well. But yeah, I did about 4 or 5 hours today of work, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is, since I'm really capped at 12 and a half for one position and then up to 5 for the other one. The up to 5 one, it's really, I need to have a more concrete, that's for a research project that I've been spending some hours on my regular job helping to set up, but when we get to the point where I'm doing coding, I will build those hours to the research group instead. But we're not there yet. We're close, but we're not there yet where I can start billing those hours. So for now, staying at about 12 and a half to 15 hours a week. And honestly, if I for what I pay for rent, it's actually not bad. But I'd like to earn more in the long run, obviously, so that I can I don't know when or if I'll ever get a chance to retire, but I would like to at least be a little bit more secure in that respect. But yeah, overall the day was pretty good. Weather was nice. It's been kind of overcast, but it got sunny for a bit. Walking was fun. Watch as they've added timber wolves to this region. That would be devastating. And like, so, EG, I think you may have missed this, but last week I finally got around to finishing episode 4, is it? Whatever the most recent episode is for Wintermute. I finally finished Wintermute. Now I'm just waiting, like everyone else, for the last episode to drop. But yeah. I don't know why I always drag my feet on finishing stuff like that, but It's like I'm more interested in doing all the side quests, right? More interested in doing survival mode than doing story mode, but it was still, I feel like, worth doing. Partly because I don't really have a great love of Blackrock, and so frequently avoid it or minimize my time there unless I'm doing roll with it. So having most of the episode devoted to Blackrock forced me to kind of come to terms with that. Granted, I had access to guns and I had access to other things to make my life a little simpler, and there weren't as I felt like the Timberwolves were more manageable. Oh boy. Even with that nap, I still got the yawns. So, yeah, no streams next week. I will be in Montreal for a conference. So, gone for a week. I will be back. So, I leave on Sunday, this coming Sunday, and I won't be back until the following Saturday. Oh, the hammer is here. This presents a whole new problem, right? Do we go back to Forge or do we go forward? I think we go forward. There's never been anything good about going back. And there's a rope here if we want to go down. Got options. What do we got for food? Cattails. Okay. Well, we know that there's some coal lying around somewhere. Okay, we're going to dump a bunch of this right now. Okay. Let's go grab some deer steaks. Some venison steaks. So yeah, Montreal. It'll be my first time in Montreal. And apparently, next week is going to be boiling hot. I was like, this week, the weather in Montreal is supposedly the same as it is here in Vancouver. And then next week it suddenly shoots up to summer weather. I'm like, what? And everyone tells me summer in Montreal is miserable. It is humid, it is hot. The buildings we're meeting in do not have air conditioning for the most part. The dorms we're staying in will probably not have air conditioning. One of my friends who's been to Montreal before for similar conferences said it would be very wise to buy yourself a travel fan, like a little USB powered fan. And so I just ordered one today so that I have some sort of fan. Keep the air circulating at night. Don't die in that place. I mean, I lived in Taiwan, which is very humid and very hot. And too young to really remember it, but we used to live in Saudi Arabia, and so that was extremely dry and hot. So, I mean... Oh, this is a new placement. What's going on here? What do you think about this? Oh, we should have lit the book on fire. I thought we were going to have to cross over. Okay, frozen angler, you are our only hope. Okay.
Come on, little fire. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. So the other thing I have to do this week for work is I have to learn more about how to... we have a project that is going to involve working with like Llama 3, like yeah, so it's kind of an AI chatbot thing that I have to set up that interfaces with another project. So like it pulls from the other project for its context in order to answer questions. So this is all relatively new to me. I was like, I've been trying to teach myself as we go along, but there are some parts of the server setup on Amazon, on AWS, that's been a nightmare. So supposedly they're finally going to bring someone in that knows what they're doing, that could teach us what to do. Okay.
The sun is setting. It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
Okay, let's see here. We should be able to at least get... Okay. The real question is, do we want to build a fire that lasts through the night? Or are we going to take our chances and lose our fire? Have to build a new fire. I really don't want to lose the fire. I think since we're sleeping in a cave, we do still have plenty of extra coal. And it would be nice to lighten our load a little bit. Maybe we just do that. It would be great if we had an axe, but we don't have an axe. Don't go out. Did we overshoot it? We overshot it. Right here. Hammer. Don't forget the hammer. Do we douse it? Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see if we can do it without.
Come on, little fire.
Yeah. Go away, scammer. Okay. Okay, I think we should take the opportunity while we can to drink the birch bark. See if we can improve our recovery. And drop our hide here as well. We got 8 hours. Let's go for 8. It's better. But I can hear it's going to be bad out there. I don't think we can afford to stay an extra night for firewood reasons, for fuel reasons. It's really expensive. Unless we give up our fire. But right now, as it is, we have just 2 flares left, so we really can't afford to waste them. We're going to recover some sticks here, and we're going to make a couple better quality torches as we can. Oh, actually, we can't. We need to have a bench to do that. So we just have to pull a couple. So I have kind of scienced this, and I'm pretty confident about this. When you're looking at a campfire and you've got these 2 logs that are almost parallel, and they meet roughly about there, if you put your cursor right there, draw a torch, you get a 50% torch. If you're off by just the tiniest bit, though, you'll get crappy torches. So. But it's just like what you want is not in the dark, you want it in the brightest light. Yeah. Okay, so 2 hours. We're not tired enough. What else can we do? Can make some more water. Yeah, beachcombing in a blizzard is not a good thing. Okay. Now we're at 388. We really desperately need to get sewing kit. Can we do any repairs right now? Nope. Yeah, it's still pretty... Okay, I think we might be good.
Damn it. I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, we're at 40. Now we're going to grind to a halt here, but we'll get rid of the rope on the other side of the ravine. Install the rope, and then we'll drop everything in the other cave, and then loot the other side. I mean, we could also hunt the bunnies here, I guess, but... Yeah, ever since I injured my lower back on Saturday, I've had just... It's been kind of comical trying to get in and out of bed. Into bed's actually not too bad. You know, just gravity takes its course. Kind of position myself to fall right into bed. And then kind of slowly reposition myself so I don't injure myself in the process. And once I'm in bed, I'm comfortable. Getting out of bed, I have to like do very careful, precise movements to rotate the body in such a way that I don't aggravate the injured muscle. And the first couple days, it was not fun. Today, like I took a nap this afternoon, I was able to get myself out of bed without as much difficulty, but definitely I just, mobility wise, you know, it's a gradual process to regain that mobility. I have this morning exercise, well, I have actually a few different exercise routines I use right now, but the main one where I do kind of a, we'll call it a modified kickboxing. You know, it's one of those routines that was developed in, I think, like the 2000s. I have a video for it. I just follow the thing. It's 20 minutes. It's about my attention span for, like, exercise anyways. And, yeah, normally I don't have difficulty following through, but, I'm not like a trained martial artist, so like when I get to the back kick section of like the exercise, I'm not like doing like professional back kicks, but I usually can at least get my leg up at a certain amount. But yeah, it's the first couple days I could barely like move one of my legs just wouldn't go past a certain angle. Very, very slight, you know, angle, like lifted off the ground very slightly. And then like the last couple days I've slowly been able to expand that angle of movement. So I'm feeling confident that by Friday I should be mostly recovered, which will be a pretty speedy recovery if that's the case. Um, Everything's cold already. All I can say is I am glad it's not sciatica. I had a bout of sciatica several years ago, and I did not enjoy that at all. That is something I would not wish on anyone. Okay, what else we got? Flowers, feathers.
My fingers feel numb.
Okay, let's go harvest this guy up too.
Come on, little fire. Perfect. This is goddamn freezing.
Yeah, we'll throw a second one on there. It's not that much, but yeah. I mean, I really should not complain, given how, for the most part, I've gotten. I've had I've been very fortunate, basically health wise. I've beaten the odds on a lot of things. Diabetes runs in my family. So far, I've not gotten it. I've definitely been pre-diabetic before and managed to pull myself back from the brink of getting diabetes. And I have never broken a bone, although I have been I've had at least one case where the doctor said it would have been easier if you'd just broken this. And then I usually bounce back from illness pretty quickly too. So I am hopeful that this will continue. In D&D terms, I seem to have a pretty high constitution.
Dying from starvation.
Is it though? You do have food. Okay, maybe for the sake of... Yeah, I think the key is just, for this particular injury, I think the key is just to keep moving. Okay. Where are we at? 42. I really wish we had a bow. Oh, I should check and see if we get any... Oh, there's new birch bark. Do we also get more feathers? Sometimes they drop feathers while we're harvesting. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, I was telling my roommate, this is like, definitely this week I feel like it would have been really nice if we had a hot tub. It's like, ordinarily I'm not that big. I don't like obsess over hot tubs, but like when your muscles are sore, yeah, it'd be nice to have a hot tub. Our place does not have a hot tub. Man, if our place had a hot tub, that would be pretty awesome. If we had a hot tub that someone else maintained, then we didn't have to take care of all the cleanup and maintenance. That would be pretty awesome. But,
I think my stomach is eating itself.
I guess the campus pool. Yeah, Astrid definitely drinks a hot tub. Astrid, actually, I might do that tomorrow. I was telling my roommate about the hot tub thing, and they were saying, you just could take a long bath. And I was like, you know what? I probably should do that tomorrow. I will do that tomorrow. Nice long soak. I think the reason why I haven't done it so far, since I got injured, was because I was worried I would not be able to get out. Like I'd get down into the tub, but then I wouldn't be able to get out again. But I think I'm, covered enough that I could probably get myself out without difficulty. It's just really bending in certain angles and lifting myself. Like, for instance, we have a sofa that's a little soft, and that is a problem. If I'm sitting on the sofa, it's a little bit low and a little bit soft, and then getting out of it requires like more exertion, engages more muscles, and some of those muscles are the ones that are injured, and so that doesn't work very well. So I tried an experiment today, which is I took one of our pillows that's on the sofa, and I sat on that on top of the sofa cushion, so I kind of elevated myself up from the regular sort of resting area or resting level of the sofa. That did seem to help. So like my starting point was higher. I seemed to be able to lift myself out a little bit easier. But it was still, I don't think it was a good thing. But yeah, I find like I can't stay seated in this office chair or in a kitchen chair for like a long period of time. So even when I'm working, I have to get up and move. No, I'll be honest, I don't think that this office chair is the most comfortable office chair I've had. It definitely isn't. I've had much better office chairs when I was working. This is a moderately comfortable chair at a reasonable price. There's another one. Okay, let's dump some stuff in here. Or at least check this out and see what we got. Oh, food problems simplifying. Okay. I wonder if I should just eat the meat. Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we drop the guts? Drop the guts and hide in here for now. It's too nice to leave. Yeah, I mean, I guess, in reference to basement apartment that we have right now, it's not perfect, but it's a newer house. We do have windows in all the room. Pretty much all the rooms have windows, and so we do have natural light that comes in. It's not a lot of natural light, depending on the time of year and time of day, but it is some. Um, it's very clean. It's very. I think it does what we need it to do, but it would be nice to have a little bit more storage. It would be nice to have a hallway closet just to store like coats in. My roommate really could use a larger closet for, or at least someplace to store luggage. Because that's kind of inconvenient right now. But location-wise, it's great if you're a 9 to 5 person going to campus. But again, doesn't work if you are working late, which my roommate does a lot. So, but for me, since I work mostly remotely, it's perfect. I just need more room for bookcases. That's my problem. Okay. Okay, what do we want here? Reasons why we should not stay here. Number one is this cave is a lot colder. Than the first cave we were at. So it would make more sense for us to get over to the other side as quickly as we can. But we are going to be a big wolf magnet when we cross over. We can solve some of that by eating the food before we go over. Anyway, we'll still be stinky because of the guts, but... Oh, check this out. Oh, did we remember last time? I swear we did it again. We left the sapling, but it was a burst sapling. It's okay. And we're nowhere near close to forging, so... Oh, but we need to grab the hammer. Did we get the hammer? Yeah, we did grab the hammer. Okay, we're good. Number two, there's no hot tub, you know. Yeah, I mean, if I want something like that, I could always move to one of those, you know, big modern, you know, apartment buildings with like all these amenities. But you're paying all this extra money for stuff that you use very infrequently. And then everyone else in the building is using the hot tub too, so it's not like it's yours, it's just there. No. No, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and they were saying that they started their PhD before the pandemic, and then they were apartment hunting during the pandemic, and so they ended up like obviously during the pandemic, basically all everyone went to remote, right? And so there were a lot more vacancies for apartments, and she and her friends were able to get a 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom house where effectively they ended up with 2 bedrooms apiece, and they're paying $12.15 each. It's like, what? That's so ridiculous. That's an impossible deal. You'll never see that again. But like having moved in, they're locked in, and they get to keep the rent is kind of locked in as well. With like the rent increases are locked in, so it can't rise too much. And so, yeah, that's an amazing deal. But I think about that. I thought, oh, that would be pretty awesome to have like to be able to have 2 bedrooms for the price of one, or that's cheaper than even the market rate for 1 bedroom. Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. I would have my bedroom, and then I'd have my library or my office. You know, yeah, we use one as an office exactly. Yeah, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for another pandemic. You know, does not seem like a good thing to do. Well, I do think that. I think like if I end up in a full-time position with decent pay, I will probably want a place that either like with much larger rooms or with the ability to carve out an office area for myself that's separate from the bedroom. So, like back home in Saskatchewan, when I moved back to Saskatchewan after being in the States for like ever and ever and ever, I moved back home with my mother, and as it happened, she was in the middle of a basement renovation or plans for a basement renovation. And so she said, "Hey, you're welcome to take the basement, and if you want, you can help with the design, the renovation design for the basement." So I got to basically design the layout and work with the general contractor on that, and laid out sort of a plan so that I could have a large bedroom area that really was partly office and partly bedroom. Um, it was basically an apartment, and it had a nice, good sized walk-in closet too. It was great. Other than the fact that like a year later, we had a basement flood, and that was terrible. And then we had to redo the entire renovation, and I lost like around 200 books. But other than that, that was a great place. But even still, that was set up so the office and the bedroom were basically the same. It was just that there was more of a partition. I had more spaces for bookcases, and um, I had like a bookcase that kind of served as a partition between the bedroom and the office, like a wall of bookcases, I guess.
Probably useful.
Well, this is ridiculous how much we have here now. Okay, a lot of fuel. Too much fuel, honestly. Flare? No, no flare. Oh, you know where we'll get a flare? We'll get a flare in Forlorn Mustang.
I'll die if I don't get some food soon.
No, this is good. With this much fuel, we can definitely make more high quality torches, and that will allow us not to have to carry as many torches. But yeah, housing's always a headache. If nothing works out locally and I have to go back to Saskatchewan, at the very least, I know like I have a place to move back to. But I really don't know how to make that work. I mean, I guess most likely I'd end up working public library instead of academic library. I have good connections. Oh, that reminds me, I need to send out some emails this week. I have good connections with the public library system there, and it would probably be a less stressful job, honestly. Or the stresses will be different. But I do really, really want to be an academic librarian. But if I were in a public library system, I would probably be doing more creative writing, programming, more D&D programming. I think it's honestly I would try to do some of that, in whatever capacity I'm in a university setting too. But we could go in there and look for the rabbits, and there's usually a backpack, but not important enough. So yeah, I'm leaning towards like this Mystery Lake, tour the dam. We've got a lantern and lots of fuel. We don't even have to use, we don't have to worry about lighting anything. We can just use that to explore the whole thing. And hopefully we'll find some flares. And then I think we will like exit the dam to Winding River and go to Pleasant Valley. And from Pleasant Valley, try to make our way to Ash Canyon. And I don't know. It really depends on how many flares we can find, or if we find a mag lens. If we find a mag lens or a firestriker, like the world's our oyster. We can do whatever we want. Okay, not really. I mean, mag lens we'd have to wait for like a good sunny day, but. Yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking. I'm going to apply for this writer in residence position with the university library, but I was talking to someone else today, and they recommended I look into. There's a different type of like it's kind of like a art project residency at a different university in the area, and that one actually pays for up to a year, and that would actually be fantastic. That would be a good thing to do, and I could structure the project in such a way that it would look like it's it would be probably both a creative project and one that's also a library project, I think is my plan for that. It's something that feels like it's library oriented or collection oriented, but it's also, or archive oriented, but it's also creative. Generating something. Okay. But that one has potentially, if you do like 3 academic terms, then you can, it's 25,000 per term, so you could earn up to 75,000 doing that. Not bad. But the applications don't start until later this summer, so there's time for me to work on things until then. We're gonna need a new pry bar soon. Ours is all messed up. I don't think you can repair pry bars either. Come on. Give us mittens somewhere.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Now we really should go to Forlorn Muskeg and make ourselves do the forge. I really do need to do that.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
So yesterday was a Canadian holiday, and I almost streamed, but instead I just took the whole day off because I was not feeling well. Because I was still recovering, still am recovering, but nope, we're sick. We need to at least make some new torches. So yeah, so yesterday was good to have a day off.
Come on, little fire.
Oh, come on. You can do this. Okay, what do we got? Yeah. No, missed it again. Okay, here we go.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
Now, let's put things down that need to go down. Yeah, worst case scenario, we wait for the guts to cure and then we make ourselves some fishing line. And then make fishing tackle and use that to sew.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Ooh, arrowhead. Hmm. I'm trying to decide if it's better to try to keep this fire going as long as we can. Okay, we're going to go down. We'll put the fire in the fire barrel. We'll break some crates up. Try to get it going all night long.
Come on, little fire.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to eat soon. I gotta eat soon.
9 hours. Let's just get these out of the way here. Okay. here. Plenty of recovery.
I could eat a horse.
Okay, let's go looking for our... Go raid the upstairs, see if we can find some sewing kits, some mittens, anything at all. There's probably mittens down here, actually, but I'm pretty certain we'll see mittens when we do the lower dam, but for now we're going to do upper dam. And we still have to do the safe as well. So there's lots of stuff to check out here.
I think I can use this.
Wow, that's weird.
What have we?
Well, Flare would have been nice, but I'll take the maple syrup. Okay.
Man, I could eat anything.
Okay. Time to go up. Oh, let's stick our head downstairs for a second too. Just be on the safe side. See if there's a pry bar or anything down here. No. skip that.
I'll take it.
Ooh, that is a good find. Hmm. Yeah, if we could find a sewing kit, we could at least make ourselves hand wraps. Better than nothing. Ooh.
This'll come in handy.
Oh, I've never seen that before. That's pretty awesome. Definitely needs repairs, but I'm hoping, I'm optimistic we'll find ourselves the sewing kit here soon. Man, we are striking out all over the place here. I mean, these are always empty, but still. I like to pretend that we have a chance of finding something. Okay, we tried. Went everywhere. Guess it's time for lower dam. Okay, I'm pretty certain we can find what we need down here. So I think we'll probably find mittens. We'll probably find a sewing kit.
Where can I find something to eat?
How are we doing for torches?
Come on, little fire. Come on.
No, I guess we're using coal. Hmm. I think we have to be more thorough here because we want to find flares wherever they might be hiding. Which means we'll have to try some places that we usually skip. Look at all the shelves. Okay, for instance, here, we're going to want to drop. Up here. Now we're going to search as best as we can over here. That's our way down. It's a way across to that side. Yeah, okay. Oops. See? Worth the trip. An extra flare. Yay! More flares. Okay. So we got another flare. Why is this another day? If I remember correctly, there's usually mittens down here too. You know, we brought all our stuff with us, right? Yeah. Other stuff is just curing, but we can do whetstone. Let's see, what else is new? My Friday night D&D campaign is nearing the end. Originally, we were going to wrap it up this week, but one person is going to be away, so we decided that we'll have kind of the big boss. They'll push off that encounter will be pushed until
This pack is getting
after I get back from Montreal, and instead we will have another set of one or two smaller encounters to build up towards the big boss fight. So looking forward to that. I'm still actually trying to decide what I'm going to throw at them. I know what the boss is. I've planned it out for a while, but they'll probably be down to 3 people, so I can't throw anything too crazy at them. Soon, so. But yeah, so I think the first Friday in June is when that campaign wraps up. And then we'll probably we'll rotate through and do a couple mini campaigns or one-offs and let other people run. And then one of our group is going to be away for most of the summer, so we may have to recruit some new people and run a shorter campaign. Like a 10-session thing, something like that. And then we'll resume in September. We'll start up a new campaign. And I'll have to plan that, figure out what that's going to be. It's going to be hard to top this one. This one's been pretty fun. Pretty epic, honestly. Oh yeah, that's weird. Usually I'll see mittens somewhere down this hallway, but I didn't. Oh. Did I miss them? Or they're just not there? Yay, sewing kit. We'll finally be able to make our hand coverings. Yeah. Oh no. I knew it was coming. Still makes me sad. We don't have a new pry bar yet.
could use this.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, part of my build up for this big final epic battle at the end has been to give, basically at the very end they've been they gained a set of magical tattoos that they didn't fully comprehend that unlock when they reach different levels of, like, the lower their hit points, lower their health, the more powerful they become. So it's basically leads to more epic battles, really, and also like the temptation to let yourself like avoid healing so that you could access something more powerful, which you don't know what it is until you get there, right? So the last session they had a pretty, yeah, it was a pretty significant battle. Actually, the individual monsters were not awful. It was just like whenever they died, they exploded, and sometimes the explosion would kill the next one, which led to a chain reaction, and that was pretty funny. Well, funny for me, probably not so much for them. So, isn't there usually a pot in here too? What is going on? Why am I not finding all the usual stuff? Where's my cooking pot? No cooking pot. So I got no mittens, no cooking pot. I'm totally robbed on this. Right? There's almost always there's a cooking pot. Man. Okay, I realize there's a problem with us going to Pleasant Valley. We go to Winding River, we exit, we cannot get back in. Well, actually we can. We just have to go along. You can go around the perimeter. But, like, if we lose the torch, we, yeah, we'll have to use our lantern on the inside, but it's been nice to hold on to this fire as long as we have. So no mittens, no cooking pot. Yeah, I set things up so the cleric's tattoo power basically becomes more powerful the more of their own hit points they sacrifice. So, like, the final stage would be for them to give up all but the last 1d10 hit points in exchange for a massive amount of damage to be dealt to up to 5 enemies. It's like, it's really tempting. Really, really tempting. But they haven't gotten to that level yet, so they don't know that that's the final stage of that particular power, or that particular tattoo power, so...
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay. Well, perhaps we should finish exploring Mystery Lake before we make a decision. Is there anything on this side that we missed? That's right, there's up here. Yeah, it totally is glass cannon. Most of them, it's that way. They become extremely fragile, but incredibly powerful. the Rogue Ranger has a power that begins by like with a very reduced version of haste, and then it becomes hasted, but then it gets really broken at the very end when they're down to their last 25% hit points. Um, they they suddenly reach a point where they're hasted, but they gain 5 additional attacks around. Just like this massive flurry attack. Now, it won't change the fact that your sneak attack is still going to apply to the first one, so. But it is fun to like fire off a whole bunch of arrows. Now, I can't remember if I made that like once an encounter you get to do that. Like normal you're just hasted, and then once per encounter you go into like this flurry mode where you just fire off a whole bunch of shots, you know, as an archer. Okay, we want to go this way. Anyways, and for all these things, you know, they're going to seem really cool, and then they're going to also realize that they are also somewhat mitigated. Like the boss will have some ways to limit the full force of that. So it'll look awesome, but at the same time, it won't be like the end of things. They'll get to do their thing. They'll get to feel like it had some effect, but it won't actually be like an insta-kill. I think we have to push on. We got our extra flare. We know we can do this. $42. Wherever we go, we're going to have to not keep the fire going, I think. I think that's what we're at right now. Yeah, we're getting close to wrap-up time. So the question is, do we sleep here? I don't know if there's enough time for us to get to the camp office from here. Maybe not. Maybe we don't. About that. Maybe we spend our time crafting ourselves. Well, there's still sunlight. We can craft ourselves a hand covering. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. So. Do repairs. And Oh, give me a break. You do this, Astrid. Yeah. Ugh. Gotta save this. Too dark. Okay. Okay. What are we eating tonight? Okay. Let's see where we at now. We're on 7.
Oh, I've never been so hungry in my life.
Apparently we're terrible at repairing things.
My stomach feels like an empty pit.
Okay, let's see what else needs repaired. This can be repaired. I think we just leave these here. Oh, we don't have any cloth left. Okay, let's get our cloth. Hmm. Oh well. Okay. We are officially on day 7, almost day 8. Probably should take notes as to where we started. We started in DP. We went to Crumbling Highway, Coastal Highway, Ravine, Mystery Lake. Okay, so I think we're going to save here and read something. Okay, we'll pick this up next time, Thursday night. But we'll update this. We'll read something new. Okay, yeah, so let's find something to read. So, request to read from a friend. Let's see. Okay, I read from these ones last time. Now, let's see what else we got here. Okay, I'll read from something from your friend Cecilia Wallach, I think. Okay. This is from Late by Cecilia Wallach, published by Boa Editions back in 2003. Afterworld begins with a epigraph or a few lines from another poet. From Mary Oliver, we have these lines. And as for eternity, what's that but the collation of all the hours we have known of sweetness and urgency? Afterworld, Cecilia Wallach. Where the world ends in moonlight and falling stars, I have tried to call you back from the dead. where the white cliffs drop off into clouds, and beneath them the green over the green of your grave. I've wished for a word, some sign, some one glimpse of your face in the dream of grief, where the black of the sky gives way to the nothing of night. Just your hand on my hair. I've begged for that mercy of touch, but the gods don't hear. There are no gods. Your ghost in the silence of trees will not weep, though I know you would take my hand. At the end of the world, you would stand beside me, saying, "This is my daughter, still," and I would not be afraid to be stepping from that edge into the wind. There you go. Afterworld. And I'll read something of my own as well. Cast. Okay. This is from Babbage's Dream. This poem is called Cast. Have we read this recently? I feel like we read these all the time. Well, I like this poem in any way, so we'll read it. Cast, to convert a variable from one type to another. How easily one thing becomes another in a language prone to fluidity. A shadow thrown against a wall, now willed into a number or a word, a strange alchemy of sorts, somehow akin to the conversion of the apparently common and worthless into the valued commodities of this world. The skins used by the gold beater, Babbage writes, are produced from the offal of animals. How is it, he ponders, that from the hooves of weathered horses and cattle come such beautiful crystals of yellow salt? What lies at the heart of such litany? Babbage, with pen moving, translating the world into a series of unanticipated revelations, each more intimate than the last. Just as the compiler now ponders like a god at judgment, weighing each line of code with what it means or fails to mean, how each casting of a thing engenders the creation of another. Nothing is ever the same after translation, after the name has been hefted, then posited to the waves, the dark world dimming in its simple downward trajectory of terms, the endless run of zeros widening back to the farthest shores, this melancholy of form, to be, to become, the shape of nothing, how it is skinned and laid to rest. In the hour of our words and their departures, we are captive here to whatever comes, whatever returns, be it beauty or love or the unfurled wings of their manifold ruin. So this poem takes its inspiration from a few different things. One, from what we do in a number of programming languages that require us to sometimes we get something that is of one type or maybe an undetermined type, and we need to cast it into a more strictly defined type. So if you were to take something that was in a decimal form, with fractional decimal form, and wanted to recast it as an integer, i.e. it's a whole number, it would drop everything that comes after the decimal and just preserve sort of the whole integer part of it. So you can cast something into specific types, more complicated data types as well. So one thing becomes another in this respect in programming. And I was also thinking about like one of Babbage's thought experiments is he says what a remarkable thing it is that the carcass of a dead horse can feed so many different industries. And he proceeds to illustrate how a dead horse turns out to have all these different values. You can sell off almost everything, even down to the maggots at the end, which is just fascinating. That there's value in all these different things. And so he notes in like this whole larger discussion, he says the skins used by the gold beater. So when they one of the ways in which people would extract gold, um, from if it was particulate gold, you could run it through you know an animal skin, a hide or fur, and it would get trapped in there. And so that was one way that you could capture gold. If it was out of if you were panning for gold or you're trying to recover gold from particulate form, like in solution of something else. So he kind of notes that where one thing might be considered awful or like something to awful, OFFAL, something to be thrown away. Usually the guts, usually the hides, if they're damaged, are thrown away. But he says like they can also be used in this really high value industry. And he says like even the hooves of like old horses and cattle you can turn into sulfur crystals. And he calls them yellow salt, crystals of yellow salt, which I thought was a very beautiful way of saying that. So he just contemplates all the different ways that things can be converted into something else. And then there's a different type of casting that's happening here. The compiler, which is, when you write the code, you then compile the code. In a lot of languages, it gets compiled. And the compiler evaluates all the lines and considers them and decides how they should be translated. And if something breaks, if like it cannot be compiled because it makes no logical sense or references something that is invalid or out of bounds in some ways, then it throws a fit. It throws an error. So again, throws right back to the casting again. And then I wrote this, and then I was really like, what a cool image that just popped into mind when I was writing it, which was like, there's this imagining this person on the shore throwing or skipping a stone into the water, throwing into a pond. And then like from that, where the stone falls, like all these ripples outward are just like this endless run of zeros. And I thought, no, that's very much like, they're not just ripples, they're zeros widening out. So anyways, there's some of the different things that come out of this poem. The hour of our words and their departures. It's a really subtle reference to a Chinese idiom that basically says, it says 4 horses, once spoken, 4 horses cannot recover. And basically it's saying like once you say something, even if you send horses in all 4 directions, you would not be able to stop the spread of whatever you just said. Like that's how conversation, how rumors go, is that you can't recover it. Once it's said, it's out there in the world. And so in the hour of our words and their departures, once we say that, it's out there. It's been cast out into the world. It'll become something. It'll do something. And we're captive to whatever that consequence is. So, 4 horses also make an apocalypse. You are correct. Unless you're in Great Bear, where there are no horses. So clearly there's no apocalypse, right? Or maybe the apocalypse happened because Astrid ate all the horses. Okay. So, in any case, I think we need to find ourselves someone to go raid. Let's see who is up right now. Carradine. Tormuse. Let's pop over to Tormuse. Okay, so Yeah, let's do Tormuse. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Appreciate it. I will be back again Thursday night. Um, it sounds like Tormuse is ready to wrap up too. But anyways, we'll pop in and then we'll go wherever Tormuse ends up going. Okay. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll be back again soon. And we'll wish you all a very good night or a good day if you're in the start of your day. And we'll be back again. Thanks all.